In 1922, a 14-year-old boy was dying of diabetes. He weighed 65 pounds, and the worst part, doctors knew exactly what would save him. A tiny protein his body stopped making. They just couldn't build it. He was one of millions, trapped on the wrong side of a wall medicine had been hitting for 50 years. Then, one man alone in a New York lab found a crack in that wall, and what came through it created Ozempic, BPC 157, and the entire peptide industry you're hearing about everywhere right now. It won him the Nobel Prize, and your doctor probably never even mentioned his name. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand the one discovery that all of modern peptide medicine is built on and why it matters for everything you've ever put in your own body. Here's the part that should stop you. Your body's running on more than 7,000 chemical messengers. They're called peptides. They tell a wound when to heal. They tell when your muscles to grow. They run your sleep, your stress, your metabolism, almost everything that keeps you alive. And one of them is the only reason a diabetic survives the night, insulin. But here's what almost nobody realizes. For the first 60 years we used it, insulin didn't come from a lab. It was scraped out of the pancreas of slaughtered pigs and cows. It took about 2 tons of pig parts to make 8 ounces of insulin, enough for just one diabetic for 1 year. That was the impossible problem. And in a minute, I'll show you the exact moment one chemist made all of it obsolete. But first, you have to see why it was considered impossible. A peptide is a chain of amino acids. Change one link in the wrong spot, and the whole thing either stops working or does something completely different. So scientists knew the target, they just couldn't hit it reliably. Now picture this. Imagine building a 50-link chain, blindfolded in a swimming pool. Every time you snap 2 links together, the current scatters your pieces, and a few of them snap together wrong. You can't tell the good chains from the broken ones, and the broken ones poison everything you build after. That was peptide chemistry for 50 years. By the time scientists chained together just 8 or 10 amino acids, so much had gone wrong, the batch was barely worth keeping. The molecules that could heal the human body were sitting right there, and we could not build them. So, how do you build a perfect chain in a pool that keeps wrecking your work? One man's answer was so simple, it sounds almost silly. Everyone was trying to fix the pool. In 1959, a biochemist at Rockefeller University named Bruce Merrifield asked a completely different question. What if you nail one end of the chain to the floor? That's it. That's the whole idea. Instead of letting the chain float, he glued the first amino acid to a tiny solid bead. Now you can flood the container with chemicals, let the next link attach, and then just wash everything else down the drain. The mess, the byproducts, all of it. While your perfect chain stays bolted to the bead. Add a link, wash. Add another link, wash. Build the whole thing, then pop off the bead at the end. It's like stacking building blocks and removing the scaffolding at the very end. Colleagues told him it wouldn't never work. It didn't just work, it could be automated. Work that used to take months now took days. He proved it in 1963, and 2 decades later, in 1984, it won him the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. That one breakthrough opened the door to almost every synthetic peptide we have today. It saved millions of lives. And more than 60 years later, we are still building on it. But if your body makes 7,000 of these on its own, why inject anything? Fair question. Here's the uncomfortable answer. The factory is still running, but after age 30, it starts cutting corners. Your cells get slower at reading your own DNA, your repair peptides slow down, so an injury that healed in a week at 25 now drags on for a month. And here's the part that surprises most. Even when your body does release a peptide, it has no GPS. It dumps the signal into your bloodstream and lets it scatter everywhere at once. A lab peptide is different. Scientists can engineer it to travel to one exact spot, hit one exact receptor, and stay active for days. Instead of a few minutes, a natural one survives. That single difference, targeting, is the whole reason the industry exists. It's why athletes use them, why celebrities are using them, why your next door neighbor is probably using them. To heal faster, build muscle, and slow down aging. Let me show you what that makes possible, and the one thing that can turn it dangerous. Here's why I have to be a doctor for a second. Right now you can buy these exact peptides online. No prescription, shipped from a lab, no regulator has ever inspected, labeled for research use only so that nobody is liable when it goes wrong. And it does go wrong, because a peptide is not a vitamin. It's a signal, wired into a dozen systems at once. Send the wrong one, at the wrong dose, into a body you've never tested, and you can create imbalances that take months to undo. I've seen it. That's the entire reason a real peptide protocol starts with blood work, not a checkout cart. At Vive Wellness, we don't hand you a generic protocol. Our board-certified physicians look at your blood work, your hormones, and your inflammatory markers first. Then we build a plan around your body, and we source every peptide from a licensed compounding pharmacy. So you're never guessing about dosage or safety. So if you're thinking about peptides, don't guess your way through it. These aren't supplements, they're signals that touch your entire system. One wrong protocol can create problems that take months to fix. If you want to do this the right way, with real testing, real dosing, and real medical guidance, book a call with our team using the link in the description.